Hello everyone. Today, I will be talking about how the defensive stats work and some of the common game mechanics. Without further ado, let's get started. First thing is the HP. The damage we take is deducted from HP. We die when the HP reaches 0. Lost HP can be recovered by the healing skills. Resilience gives flat increase in healing. 1 resilience increase healing by 1. If you need more info on healing, check out my healing guide. Now, let's see how we take damage. Before diving into the stats, first let's see what the true damage is. This is the damage done by the enemy when our defense is 0 or ignored by the enemy. Each skill of the enemy has different true damage. Let's see it in the battle. I am using accessory which changes my defense and magic defense to 0. The true damage for the both enemy skills is 6050. Now that we know what the true damage is, let's get back to understanding how the defense and magic defense work. Defense only works against physical attacks while magic defense only against magic attacks. 1 defense decrease damage received by 1. I have 5000 defense, so I will be taking 1050 damage from the enemy. Here's the breakdown. Next thing is the element defense. Element defense increases the total defense by %, only against the same element skills. Note that this uses the total defense, not the base defense. 2 element defense increases defense by 1%. Let's see how it works in battle. I have 4000 magic defense and 100 earth defense. My true magic defense is 6000. I will be taking only 50 damage. Here's the breakdown. Next thing is the damage reduction. There are 2 types of damage reduction: true damage reduction and current damage reduction. Attack down decreases the true damage of the enemy skills, while damage down decreases the current damage. Attack down effects add up while the damage down effects are applied separately. For example, if we apply 10% and 1% attack down, then enemy's true damage will decrease by 11%. If we apply 10% and 50% damage down, then damage will be reduced by 10% first, then the remaining damage will be reduced by 50%. Another thing to note here is that true damage reduction is applied before the stats are taken into account. Damage down is applied after the damage is reduced by the stats. Let's see the true damage reduction first. I am using the same stats as before. I will be using the Thorn skill. This skill reduces enemies' attack and magic attack by 10%. There is also 1% attack down by the chain. Here's the breakdown. One important thing to note is that the soil skill of the enemy was reduced to 0 because the true damage became lower than my magic defense. Now, let's see the current damage reduction. I'm using Calamity here, which does 10% damage reduction. Here's the breakdown. My defense was applied first, and the remaining damage was reduced by 10%. Here's the final formula and some examples. So far, we have learned about healing and how we take damage. Now, let's see some important game mechanics. First thing is the aggro. Aggro is a hidden stat in battle. Each use of skill gives aggro points depending on the skill. The party member with the highest aggro points becomes the main target of the enemy. It is important to have someone acting as a tank in the party because some enemies do very high single target damage. There are some skills and items which increase or decrease the aggro. Let's see it in the battle. I have the aggro first. It shifted to Alice for a moment, and then it shifted back to me after I used the Vanguard skill which gives high aggro. Next are the special effects. I have listed some of them here, but I'll not go into details of these, since every enemy and item do them in their own way. They can be fatal, depending on the situation. Some of these cannot be removed with the cleansing skills. Aside from the listed debuffs, some enemies may even do fixed damage or extra damage. These ignore our defensive stats and some debuffs. Understanding enemy is the most important thing to counter these. And this concludes the survival guide. I hope this helped in understanding which stats to build and how some game mechanics work. If you found this content useful, then like, subscribe, and share with your friends. See you in the next video.